Choose fighting with security at the high road, ruining your night. Choose antagonising disabled queue jumpers at theme park. Choose gimping around in the gym. Choose keeping it high. Choose punishment bummings. Choose battering 13-year-olds and their dads for chucking golf balls at you. Choose working security at Tea in the Park and robbing the punters. Choose asking a Welsh dwarf for a line. Choose triggering Instagram mums. Choose booting yappy dogs in the ribs. Choose taking an edible and doing the gay Gordons. Choose Leather Podcast.
What have you been up to, Dil?
Fell out with anyone lately?
Ah, nah. I got someone back though.
You did indeed, my friend.
Chat shit. No,
Cornering at the weekend.
Good Iron Elephant, man. He's so good. I love him. Like
him and his brother both work hard.
Him and Aaron and Callum, like, you know what I mean? It's really
microphone.
Oh, sorry. It's really weird. Like I was saying this to send this to me board. These people, and I think I was saying this to Lindsay as well. These people that come into your life and are more important to you now than family, like, you know what I mean? Like Aaron and Callum, like I love them to death. Like they're literally like my little brothers. Like, and even on the weekend, it's so hard to kind of like obviously see someone get done because it wasn't an illegal shot. Like, you know what I mean?
We'll tell the guys what happened so they understand.
So Aaron shot and a knee came up the middle and he got landed on clean.
This is amateur rules as well.
Amateur rules, you're not allowed to knee to the head. So he got KO'd from it, but he was dominating the whole fight up until that point with a broken nose as well. Like, so he's going from the second round on, he had a broken nose and he's trucking forward, still wrestling, like so hard to do, like mouth breathing the whole time.
We've seen the scorecards as well because he was up 10. He won the first. I think one judge had him up the second, but the other judge had him down.
Two judges gave the second round to him, man, based on the broken nose.
But then he obviously had won the
but one judge
third
gave him all
and
four.
Fourth.
One judge had given him all four. So you know what I mean? So like it was kind of like the only reason they given the other one was because of the broken nose, but the broken nose happened like the last 10 seconds. Threw up a high kick, but it was like a high kick that Aaron was ducking into. Aaron caught it, progressed to the fence with it, was about to finish a single leg. So I wouldn't have given that round off of that. Like, you know, I said it to him after. I go, if we had been 20 seconds more and we were coming back in here now, we'd all be sitting here raving going, oh, you're the best bantamweight in the country. You know what I mean? That was a perfect performance. His boxing looked amazing. He's a real student of the game, like a little weirdo, like, you know what I mean? Just sits there watching tapes all day, sends you tapes, asks you so many questions, you know what I mean? And he's hungry for knowledge, like, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, but he loves Lomachenko and he loves southpaw boxers, you know. We have that in common because I love it as well. I strictly only watch southpaws. And his boxing on the weekend looked amazing, landing lots of really nice stuff. And, you know, it's hard because it's a sour taste in your mouth after it, but, you know, he's destined for great things. Like, he's...
Am I right in saying that they're going to try and overturn it because it was an illegal shot?
So they were going to try and overturn it, but I think because it kind of went on so far, I think it got down to Mark Goddard, and I had said this to James. Mark isn't going to overturn it because then he's going to have to overturn. It's like setting a precedent in American court, you know what I mean? After that, everyone can kind of refer back to that court case and be like, oh,
well, you overturned this one, so
yeah,
the exact same situation has happened, and I want this overturned.
And he's a really busy fella, so it took him up until like late yesterday to get back to James about it. Since Saturday, you know, he's over like cornering UFC title fights. He doesn't want to be hassled every single weekend by some young fella to overturn something or fix something. But like realistically, it should have just been sorted on the day. Phil DeFries had a little bit of a nightmare that night, like, you know what I mean? But in his defence, I think he was so caught off guard by it was kind of like, oh fuck, you know what I'm saying? So
and they obviously don't, like in the UFC, if that happens, then they can look back at the video. Like, it's like, if you take my fight, they would look back in that video and said, right, this is what we think, so we're going to just say it's a no contest. Phil doesn't have that.
He went out and looked at the video, to be fair to him.
Did he?
Yeah, he did go out and look at the video, to be fair to him, but it was kind of like, there was so many people, a fucking cameraman came over, was like, I took the picture, he shot into it, and I stared at the cameraman being like, you shut your mouth, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
it's nothing to do with him.
But even then, like, this is the thing.
It doesn't matter, you're allowed to shoot in for a shot.
It's an unlawful shot, like, so even if it's a foul, it's an unintentional foul, but it's still a foul. And if that foul has resulted in the end of the contest, well, then we should either reset, go to the scorecards, you know what I mean, finish off of that, especially when he can't continue, or no contest is straight away. Like, they're the only two options. You can't reward
and so deep
someone.
in the fight.
Yes, you can't reward someone for using an illegal shot. Whether they, like, it's not like his knee was flat, not moving, and Aaron headbutted his knee. Like, it's not like that. Like,
He'd
not
lifted
like he
the knee with intent of landing.
And if you watch the video, Aaron dips, he throws. It's not he throws, Aaron dips. You know what I mean? And that's the one thing that I was trying to get across. But once again, it's a unintentional foul then, but it's still a foul. You know what I mean? And it's after affecting the course of the fight drastically. So you're saying you're after getting basically 5 zipped, and now all of a sudden you're after winning. It's, you know what I mean? It's just kind of, it'd be almost like, it's not the same, but it's like he threw an inside leg kick and kicked him in the balls, and Aaron couldn't continue, and they're like, oh well, he wins. It's pretty much the same thing, you know what I mean? Or if he moved, it's like, oh, he moved his balls into it. It's like, it doesn't work like that. You still kick me in the dick, like, you know what I mean? But look, it's amateur, you know. Straight away when I walked into the back, that's how you know the young fella's going to be a world champion. He looks and he goes, well, I'm preparing to be the best pro in the world. So if it was pro, I would have got killed. So I have to fix that. And I just looked at him and I was like, I did this being, if that was me at that age, I'd have been in crying, like, no, it didn't happen, like, hiding from it, like, what are them birds that put their heads in the sand? Ostriches, and just put my head in the sand. That was me whenever anything bad happened when I was younger. I'm just going to hide here, and then a year later it'll all be fixed. But it never was fixed. You have to face them problems right, like, straightforward. And luckily, like, he had Kieran Reid there as well. You know, Kieran was there looking after him. I was more annoyed at the care for him. Nobody checked on him. Got brought out of the cage, examined for 2 minutes, sent into the back, and then since then nobody walked in and looked after him. I don't think anyone texted him. It reminded me an awful lot of when I got soccer kicked on Budo, and that little rat Chris Clark, like, just left me up like nothing to me, like, you know what I mean? And then text me next day being like, oh, you should have went to the hospital. I was like, you for real, like, you know what I mean? And that, I was really annoyed at that. I think that's one of the things that in Ireland we take for advantage. We're way better than you over here, and in England, you know what I mean, in the UK.
Well, Ireland was one of the first places to bring in the head examination, and it's a good idea.
It took someone to die for us to do it, though.
I was going to say there was quite a serious incident.
𝗟𝗘𝗗𝗏 versus Charlie Ward, and you know that I was there live for that event. Like, I was there when it all went down. Like, that was a traumatic night, like, mental night, you know. Thank God Dr. Dan Healy was on site at that point as well. It was one of those things. It was a scary thing, but it made us all open up our eyes. And then maybe we got a little bit too strict. But I'm just more...
Is there a happy medium ground for both of these things?
Some doctors coming in and sitting with him for an hour and checking them and kind of evaluating. I know they're kind of going, that's your job, you'll look after him, but it's kind of like, You're not a doctor. I'm not a medical professional. Now, don't get me wrong, I would have been grand with Aaron because I've been around it well. Or like, obviously we stayed down there in the weekend, and it just reminded me of stuff. Like, everything is so funny now because everything just comes full circle. So it's almost like me looking through, I don't know, a tinted glass of myself. You know what I mean? Because I'm looking at Aaron going, oh, this was me. You know what I mean? Maybe me after the else one, or maybe me when I took the shots in the Ventre fight. And I remember Ash staying up and I remember waking up and having Ash just looking at me. It was really creepy, like, you know what I mean? Checking on you. No, she was just watching me, like, making sure, like, just sitting there looking at me, not going to sleep, like, you know what I mean? I think she had, like, a Red Bull or something, like, to stayed up the whole night, just eyeballing me. Anytime I'd wake up, she'd be like, "Oh, good?" And I'd be like, "Yeah."
Does Ash have a medical? Has she got some sort of medical degree?
No, she's just a man, like, you know what I mean? But I was doing the same thing to Aaron on the weekend. So Aaron went into bed, I'm popping my head in every couple of minutes, kind of seeing if his head is all right. He wakes up, I'm like, "Yeah, good? Yeah, all right, leave him." Come back in when he's still asleep, kind of just seeing if he's good, like, you know what I mean? Because the worst thing that you can do after a bad knockout or a bad concussion is go to sleep. You know what I mean? You might not wake back up if you have a bleed in the brain. So that's what she's just so smart. So she was doing all that stuff back then, like, you know what I mean? And then it's funny because then she went in her last UFC fight, she had a brain hemorrhage without knowing in the fight, like, you know what I mean? She had went home, went to sleep that night. She might not ever woke up. You know what I'm saying? So it's just these things that you look back on, you're like, kind of like, oh, thank fuck I knew that, like, you know what I'm saying? But it's just weird looking at everything through a lens, like, you know what I mean? Almost seeing myself in these kids and being like, oh shit, like, you know what I mean?
I've obviously seen you in the gym often. And do you feel you're sliding into this? Obviously, you've been one of the captains in the gym, a guy that people can rely on, a guy that people can go to. They can troubleshoot with you. Do you feel you're moving more into this as you get older, this sort of coaching role, of being like a mentor coach?
I think I was always in that because I've always been so good. You know what I mean? I know that's but like, because I was around the really good guys all the time growing up, I kind of got to that stage where I was always respected by the younger guys.
What did I say to you today? You went, I might go to 𝗣𝗐 tonight. And I went, I always forget you're a black belt.
Aye.
Because you seem too young to have done it for this period of time to be as advanced as you are.
And I could have had me black belt 5-6 years ago if I had a played game, like, you know what I mean? Couldn't have got it off a better duo though, so I'm very happy, like, to now have done a dynamic duo with Scottish MMA.
You've got a huge amount of experience for your age, obviously.
16 years in now.
And that's why you're as well trusted by James.
What am I, 28? Yeah, 16 years in last November.
I'm not even close to that, mate.
17 years this November coming. You know what I mean?
I'm not even close to that.
It's mad, like, and it's, as well as that, like, I only probably had 3 or 4 years of, like, not bad training. My first, like, because I had a really good, one of my first MMA coaches, Shane Thomas. He was a Kyokushin black belt and a judo black belt. He had a great mind for it. So I got good habits off them, and then I got some bad stuff like everyone does back in the day. And then I had 𝗟𝗘𝗔𝗧𝗛𝗘𝗥 Kennedy. He was a really high-level Thai boxing coach. So that's where I originally get my knees from and stuff, like, you know what I mean? Then obviously they got honed by Owen Roddy. So I've always kind of had good people around me. I never had a really shit coach, like, you know what I mean? That was giving me so many bad habits. So it's kind of, it's always like played. And then from like 16, I was with the SBG crew, like, you know what I mean? The good crew, not now. And it was just, you know what I mean? When you're around knowledge and you're in all day, you kind of just pick it up. It's kind of like Aaron and all now, like, they'd have enough knowledge to kind of grab them, you know what I mean?
He was in yesterday.
You know what I mean?
He's obviously coming off a loss, coming off a bad knock, and he's still in the gym.
I think it's good for that. Like,
not having contact, but he's still wanting to learn.
Well, he's coming in and watching, and as well, he's coming in and letting everyone know I'm okay, because everyone will be worried about him, like, you know what I mean?
And you don't want to message and ask. I feel that way. It's like, sometimes people message after a fight and it's this, are you all right? What are you going to put back? No, I'm not. I'm gutted. I can't even fucking see properly. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to tell them all this terrible news. You're always, I'm great. How are you? So
I was out in the bar after it, and someone's like, how was Aaron? I'm like, oh, you just got fucking knocked out. I'm like, how the fuck?
I text you.
I just went like that and just walked off. I was like, you was idiots. Like, you know what I mean?
Back to me, sore head.
Sore head, you know.
He's got a sore head.
What about, we also had young Ryan Campbell.
He's a savage, isn't he?
Who was out Relentless.
He's what, a year now with higher level?
Yep.
So much improvement since.
And what's that, 2 fights? 2 fights under?
2 or 3 fights. 2 or 3 fights, is it? 2 fights, I think. He looks like a little savage, so he's gotten so much better.
And the fight could have ended a lot sooner. He was out on Cage Warriors. Where was that? Was that in Manchester?
Manchester. Down with Sean Clancy and Coach Doolin. And we Clancy, we Stephen, Steg.
Same again, these young guys that are just wanting to be in about it.
They love it, they live for it, you know, and it's better for them. Like I suppose when you're younger, you always want to go out with your friends. It's better for Steg to be with James and to be out with his mates, because his mates are stupid, like, you know what I mean? No, I don't know any of them. I'm just assuming, like, every
of course they are.
Like, you know,
they're 18, 19. They're not going to be.
They're kids, like, you know what I mean? And kids without a path, there's something that, like, because Steg could obviously be, unassumingly, could be a messer when he's out, but he has that map of MMA and stuff, and you know
positive
what I mean?
Adult role models.
Yeah, he got positive adult role models, and as well as that, I'm sure the same way with me, Steg never wants to get a message off James being like, what are you doing? Like, you know, the same way you wouldn't, like, wouldn't, like, you know what I mean? That's
37, and if I get a message for James,
yeah, like,
fuck. If he's chinning you for something, you've definitely done wrong.
You've done something wrong, because
you do need people checking on you though, asking you where you are, asking you what you're doing. Like,
you can't have yes men around you. Look what happened to Conor, like, you know what I mean? And Mike Tyson before that, like, you know what I mean? Yes men kill everyone. You need someone to call you a cunt and tell you that you know what I mean?
You're not pulling your weight.
Yeah, exactly, 100%.
Where were you last night? You should have been in. You should have been doing this.
Or even just as a person. You know what I mean? Like, I think obviously we get so caught up with what training is, but I think there's more to it than that. Like, you know what I mean? James wants to see you be a good person, a good role model. He doesn't want to see you out being a dickhead. Like, you know what I mean? So it's as much as the training is a big part of it, it's also like the maturity, like, you know what I mean? He wants kind of the martial arts to have a good background, a good what's it called?
Representation.
A good representation of it, like, not like it's having a bad thing or you're going out and being a bully. Like, even I've heard of things of him, like, guys in the gym that may have got in trouble, not in the gym, but beforehand, he'd be like, now they're here, and he's like, maybe other gyms would cast them away because they're kind of like, I don't, like, you know what I mean, bad rep or whatever. But he's like, no, this is the best place for them. You know what I mean? Because imagine they weren't here, they're going to go out and deal with the some poor soul, but this might give them an outlet to kind of go, all right, like, you know what I mean? I can get me stuff out here and I don't have to be angry or whatever.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean?
Paint up rage.
Yeah, like, so someone
most young guys have that.
All of us, even middle-aged men, like, even like 25, 23 or 25. I think it's, especially nowadays, because like the cost of living and stuff is so hard. Everyone's under so much stress, you wouldn't even notice it, like, you know what I mean? So like, them hours or hour and a half or 2 hours in the gym, maybe you're training for an hour, talking to your mates for another half hour, that makes a big difference, I suppose.
That's
like,
as important for me with coming to the gym. A bit of chat with the guys in the change room after a session, troubleshooting stuff, talking away. That's as big. That's as big a part of it as the training.
Guys, it's that time where we tell you where you should have went if you've been involved in a non-fault accident. It's G4 claims time. If you have been involved in a non-fault accident and you're looking to get 100% of your claim, a courtesy car your whole claim, and no deal with any of the nonsense of going back and forth with your insurance company, then you know where to go, and it's G4 claims. Ross, give me the vital deets.
It is 01698 767 172. If you're on the phone, you can WhatsApp if you don't want to talk to anyone. If you do want to talk to people, you can walk right in the front door. You can also get them on notatfaultclaim.com, and all the links are in the bio.
Non-fault claim, you know where to go. And this is also if you have been involved in an accident and maybe you were the passenger of a taxi cab or a bus, then you can still claim. You can still get G4 to represent you and get 100% of your claim. So please do not suffer in silence. Do not go to your insurance company. Go directly to G4 claims and you can thank us later. As an MMA guy, do you watch all the UFCs?
Not all of them, only some of them. I happen to watch some.
Is there somebody you enjoy watching?
I like Corey Sandhagen, big fan of Sandhagen. I find it hard to be fans of people because all of them are on steroids. Like, so it makes me kind of be like, you know what I mean? What if you weren't juice kind of thing? Like even Merab, like, you know what I mean? Everyone's like, oh, Merab's so good, and I'm like, yeah, but he's full of EPO, like, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like
allegedly.
He's full of EPO.
So you obviously watched this weekend's UFC.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on Topuria?
He's an animal, isn't he? It's great. He's just.
Did you expect him to do that to Oliveira?
I think he was meant to do that to Oliveira. Like Oliveira was only knocked out in his last fight, wasn't he? Yeah, a couple of fights ago. It wasn't like that long ago that he was last chained. Like not that badly, but he's been chained before. Like, you know what I mean? I think the perfect style, and
was the last one Chandler, wasn't it? And that kind of went to the decision.
What was the one before that?
The one before that, I think it was maybe Beneil. Was it not?
He did take some big shots in the fifth round against Chandler, though.
Before Chandler, it was the Arman decision at 300.
Someone banged him because I seen someone put up basically like.
That's his chin went.
Not even that. I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to put him down around, but I just think if you're chinny and then you're going against the hardest hitter probably in the UFC at the moment,
for sure.
You know what I mean?
There was a point where I was watching and I was thinking, you know what? He's actually. Oliveira's going to do all right. He was using the teeps, using the kicks, and keeping that distance.
Had to move his fucking feet.
Aye, and then he just stood and, like for the
that's
the
his whole
knockout
game.
led to him standing right, stuck in the middle of the ground, and boom.
I think he thought he was going to be able to bang with Topuria, so he's like, I'll hit him too, and it's kind of like, no, Topuria looks like the kind of cunt that'll eat it to give you two back, like, you know what I mean? And he did, yeah. That was it. The first left hook was what changed it all. The first left hook Oliveira's eye. Oliveira started wrestling immediately. So I said when he felt that, he was like, oh fuck.
Topuria's wrestling was good. And he
He's
caught
a
him in the
legit black belt.
crucifix. And so it's not as if he's just a slouch, he's just a knockout guy.
He's a legit black belt, like, you know what I mean? He's a legit black belt.
His coach says his wrestling's better than his striking.
Merab has said that as well. Like Merab struggles. Really? Yeah, Merab said he fucks him up, like you can't spar him anymore, like, you know what I mean?
Before he got into the UFC, he was known as more of a grappler. He had like 6 submissions or something like that.
Cage Warriors, he was dancing everyone. But that's what everyone's like on the regional scene. You know what I mean? Like everyone is like that in the regional scene. If
until
you
he gets cut their teeth.
Then when you get in there to the UFC level, or even into like the high levels of like say Octagon, PFL, FNC, all them whatever, everyone has good grappling. You know what I mean? But at the beginning, at European levels, a lot of guys don't have really good grappling, like, you know what I mean? They kind of negate it because they either get away with it in that little shitty gym or they knock people out kind of thing, like, you know what I'm saying?
What did you think of him bringing in Paddy Pimblett?
I liked it.
Did you like it?
I'm all for it.
Are you more interested in that than seeing him fighting Arman?
Absolutely.
Craig is an MMA fan. Who do you want to see?
Craig likes it by the book,
the Paddy fight is probably more entertaining,
Yep.
whereas the Arman fight I think would probably be a better fight.
I think Topuria now should be being pushed as the biggest star the UFC's ever had.
Did they put him pound for pound? Number
one now.
And rightly so ahead of Islam, because Islam went up, like, you know what I mean?
It's got to be against Islam. And the problem Topuria's got is he's beating all the fan favourites and he's wrecking them. So that's
he isn't half.
Oliveira, Volk, Holloway. They are guys who everyone loves.
I know.
So he needs to beat a bad guy now.
Yeah, needs to turn heel.
And it's Islam.
Yeah, I'd say I'd love to see Paddy get it because it's great for European MMA. You know what I mean?
Does Paddy have an ace up his sleeve where he can use to beat him?
He has a really, really high level back game. So that's the only thing. What he's good at, he's very good at. Like, you know what I'm saying? And he's always been good at that. He always has that kind of grappling. I think people as well will underestimate, because all the kind of American crew and all, like, wrestling, but with Europeans, it's more fence wrestling. You know what I mean? Really good on the fence. That was almost like the kryptonite that European fighters brought against MMA, kind of to neutralise that wrestling over in America. Like, you know what I mean? And now you'll see it works really well. Everything lands on the cage. And you even watch Leon Edwards, like, on the cage, he's nearly impossible to take down, like an Bilal, whatever. But if you watch before that with the Cameroon Usman fight, couldn't get taken down at all, you know what I'm saying? So I think Paddy could probably do something there to himself. But I just think Topuria has such a high level boxing, and the MMA community kind of has such a low level of boxing. That makes sense. It's
his ace cards.
His ace is huge, like, and it's kind of like, it doesn't seem like with Conor used to carry his power for the first round. It kind of dim off, you know what I mean? But Topuria just seems like he carries it for rounds and rounds. Like, even the Joy Herbert fight was a great example, because Joy was punching his head in, great footwork, jabbing him on the back foot, ended up dropping him in the first round with the left high kick and stuff, but really hurt him a good few times. And Topuria then carried the power into the third and clean slept him, like, not even TKO'd him, literally slumped him like a lawn chair, like, you know what I mean? Not even being bad though, like, you know what I mean? I know you love Joy, I'm a big fan of Joy Herbert, like, you know what I mean? But he done the best against Topuria, and literally after moving in 3 rounds, and Topuria just still has that power to kind of go
To put him away.
You know what I mean? That's scary. Like, that's a scary. And he's moving up. He's going up to 155 and banging people out. It's almost like Pacquiao doing it back in the day. It's impressive as fuck, man.
It is. It's very good.
Do you think he'll chase Islam up to 170?
He shouldn't. He should make Islam come back down and look like a bitch if he doesn't. Like,
I think the come down's probably easier for him, because we've seen the height difference between Charles, right? We know Charles is quite a tall lightweight.
Paddy's a similar frame to him as well, eh?
But I don't think it makes a difference, though. I think Topuria is the smallest guy in the gym all the time. He's used to that.
So he's no bothered.
It's Mike Tyson. He's Mike Tyson of lightweight division. He knows he needs to get inside and work you. So he'll, and one of the things that people didn't look at on the weekend, he just came on the inside of that jab, waited for the jab to come in, overhand right over the top. Such a simple, basic shot. Came back with the hook then. Basic boxing, like, you know what I mean? So I just think that's his game. No, even if you put Stefan Struve in front of him, that's his game. He's going to have to get in front anyway. Like, you know what I mean? He's small. He's a tiny fucker.
Yeah.
I think, look, just talking about you saying he needs to get in, he said that he wasn't worried about that with Charles, because Charles just walks forward, so Charles was doing all the work for him.
He's just going to meet him, because he knows you're just going to crash.
He walked forward and started swinging and went, cool, perfect, glad you did that.
Boom.
Joy Herbert fight, best thing to watch. The only way to beat Topuria
is good
footwork, good jab, keeping on a distance, and good wrestling defense. Because the one thing that he has shown is that if it's not working, he'll just wrestle you. You know what I mean? He just wrestled Joy Herbert, like, you know what I mean? And that was the thing that made it kind of not look like a landslide, like, you know what I mean? And not look like he kind of got smashed, because he was getting pieced up on the feet, like.
And then Pantoja.
Oh, he's a little savage, yeah. Great back take. Looks like he's a one-trick wonder, though, isn't it?
Did you see how he got him down?
He done that ninja takedown. He puts his 2 hooks at the back.
It's beautiful, man.
But then he climbed up. So when you do that, they get height. So he like went seatbelt and then harnessed and then just kept climbing up. It was very nice. A very high level black belt.
I was speaking about it last week in the podcast, and I'm like, for some reason, he's not. Fans only clicking with him and giving him the love that he deserves. And after that performance again, like, it was so good in his wrestling, and his striking, and his grappling exchanges.
I think MMA fans and UFC fans in total now are kind of like old school WWE fans, and the attitude there that they want it, you know what I mean? They want the bad guy. Not even that, they just want what looks like like, even Topuria is playing it off well. See the way he has his little character going and stuff. They want that. You know what I mean? They don't want a little fella that can barely string a sentence together in English.
Who we don't know enough about, eh? You've got to know about them.
And they don't really want you to go and grapple anyone anymore. They don't want you to go out and like, he just goes out and takes that back.
The crowd were booing 30 seconds into that fight when he took the back and he had a body triangle like within the first 30 seconds and they were already booing him.
But they don't care. It's all, and even now with the TKO group, I think, where
they're
it's
going to push that even more.
It sells more, and you can't kind of have to look at it and go, what do they want? Do they want? And they want seats. They want seats to be filled with butts. You know what I mean? So they're just going to kind of push that.
Craig, you maybe have seen this. Who was it was saying that this is not a sport; it's an entertainment business?
Dana White.
It was somebody just recently. Somebody just recently came out and said this is
a fighter.
Maybe.
I'm sure it was I don't know who it was specifically, but I know what you're talking about.
And they were like, "This is not."
Do you know who? I think it might have been 𝗟𝗘𝗔𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗘𝗥.
Did Dana say as well? Like, this isn't a job. This is an opportunity or something like that.
That's always been his thing.
You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck?
He wasn't there at the weekend.
Was he not?
Oh,
he was.
He was. He done the post fight, didn't he?
Yeah, he was, because he went mad over Paddy fucking
getting on the octagon.
the cage.
So why did he
Probably
say
got the most views that he needed?
if I was there though I would have stopped?
He left and went to the hotel early.
Right, okay.
Bollocks. How quick did you get out of there? Like, you know what I mean? Chad bunked out of there.
It was Joe Rogan pulled him in, eh? Joe Rogan was like, "Oh, come on in."
Because Joe knows how to sell it.
Aye, he's done them a favour there.
Aye.
Who else is he going to have? Herman's fucking boring as fuck. And he pulled out in fight week, so he's unreliable. You know what I mean? He's a great fighter. I'm a big fan.
He was a backup, wasn't he?
He's backup. And he's backup, and he's being told, you're going to be backup, and you're not getting a title shot next. That's a fucking coward move.
Do as you're told, though, eh?
That's literally like Conor to Alvarez. You got the biggest fight of your life, and you done it on the same contract as the last one, you gobshite.
So, them, though.
Pantoja, would you do him? Would you do with that division, Craig?
Well, they set up his next fight, didn't they? They brought Joshua Van back out, put him in the cage and faced off with him.
And Joshua Van got moving on to the next fight. Joshua Van looked great. He was running away with that fight.
Great fight. I loved it, eh?
I thought he was losing until he dropped your man, no?
The last round?
Yeah, I thought he was losing the last round until he dropped him, no?
I felt it was close.
It was really close until he dropped him.
I thought he was edging it every, see all the exchanges. I think
he just had more power, so it looked like he was making a bigger...
Same again, that height difference. It looked like it were two different weight classes.
I just hate Flyweight.
Cracking each other, though. It was good.
There's
fan-friendly fight.
There's no one there. There's just nothing in it.
That's always been the problem with Flyweight, though. Like, even when it was fucking Mighty Mouse getting 11 title defences, people didn't care. Like, they were going to just close the division.
I loved Demetrius Johnson doing it. I loved it when DJ was there, just because I was a fan of DJ. Like, you know what I mean?
But you can relate to him as well. He was a relatable guy. You could.
Well, not at the time. I think that's a bit of like revisionist history. See, now that he's got his YouTube channel and stuff like that, he didn't really showcase any of that. Exactly. Like,
I'll give you that. That's fair.
I always said I was a fan. I always like DJ, man. I was a big fan of him.
I'd seen them speaking about this in the commentary with the strikes landed, significant strikes.
Aye, so that's the first fight in UFC history where both fighters landed 200 significant strikes each. And it was only a 3-round fight.
And these wee fellas are just fucking thrown.
And now, is that right? Royval does 100 significant strikes per round and X amount of his last rounds now.
He was on pace to beat Max Holloway's significant strikes thrown record. See if that fight was 5 rounds and it was kept going the way it was. I know you obviously can't say that because he could have been finished in round 4, but he was on pace to beat Max Holloway's record as well.
That's a little fella that's getting the title shot at Flyweight, is it?
No, it's the guy that lost.
The guy that lost.
See what I mean? It's, I'm always right.
And that's why I'm like, with this division, like when you think about Pantoja being the best in the division of
midgets. They don't make men that small though. That's the thing though.
They don't make men.
Remember Paddy Hewlin said that to me before. He said, "You don't make men that small. We just cut down to it."
I think they pushed the pace because they knew it was a 3-rounder. They both had the foot down, eh?
Did they both get the performance?
I got fight in the night. Aye, for sure.
Good on them. I like to see when the boys come out and
they got
fucking throw
23.5 grand.
and CT.
No, it's 50k. No, it's not
10 years off each of their lives.
I did 4-ounce gloves as well. Like, imagine boxing output with 4-ounce gloves. You're an idiot.
I did not watch the patent. What was the outcome?
He won. You know,
Peyton wins.
Decision,
a UD.
They kind of they're pushing him pretty hard.
He did well. He looked much better.
Peyton Talbot. He had improved quite a lot.
Yeah, he was wrestling way better.
He's the guy with his circle tattoo, and he's obviously
the fella who's banging Frank Ocean.
Frank Ocean,
vapes out his ass as well.
Yeah, see Frank Ocean sharing the story. when he was in upside down guard, fucking gas.
No.
It looks like a fucking like a 69 position, and like Frank Ocean
was in like 𝗟𝗘𝗔𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗘𝗥 basically, like, you know what I mean?
Poor Peyton, man. He can't get a break.
Yeah, respect. Being gay, you're going out and you're absolutely flatlining, boys. Respect.
He's no open about it though, is he?
Oh, he is, yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
Has he came out and said he is, aye?
We'll be talking about this last week.
Him and Frank Ocean are like boyfriend and girlfriend almost.
Boyfriend and
Is that true?
Aye,
I knew he was linked with Frank Ocean,
right, okay.
and I thought there was maybe a wee bit of this.
No, fact, isn't it? Fact.
I don't think they've actually ever came out and said like we're fucking together, but it's fucking
Looks
seems
like
pretty
that.
clear. Aye.
Well, I'm letting you all know. Fact.
Told you.
Yeah, I did see the Robocop knockout as well, which I thought was fucking scary,
Grim,
man. Aye.
I felt for Hermansson.
We got a wee video of it.
He got like an hour like observation or something after they just sat in an observation room with him before they sent him off.
This guy's massive, by the way, this Robocop.
Look at the follow-up. Why did he hit him?
Buff. Oh, I
Just
did.
leave him alone. Like, just leave him alone. Like,
I know.
you know he's dead. Like, you know what I mean?
Bump.
I don't get that. Like, don't get that.
That's
at all.
Oh.
Like, fair enough with Dan Henderson, Michael Bisping. Michael Bisping talked a lot of shit. You know what I mean? He deserved it. Like, well, Jack Hermansson's a good guy. Like,
the one where he was like biting doing on the gum shield after. He just like, fuck.
he deserved it though. He talked loads of shit to Dan Henderson for like 8 weeks in the tough house. Like, you know what I mean?
Who won the t-shirts?
Nobody got it right.
Nobody
got it
pick
right.
it?
Majority of people picked Moicano
Moicano
over
Over
Benny
Dariush.
Dariush.
Dariush was good.
Moicano
Really
can't-
good.
I never
Moicano
watched
can't
that fight.
wrestle.
I just wasn't interested in what was the outcome yet.
I think
Dariush by decision.
Dariush, he kind of lost the first round and then started putting it
Out-grappled
together.
him. Good footwork.
Moicano just got bollocks. Couldn't he, by the end of the tour, he couldn't even throw a punch.
You've got to give Moicano props. He's put himself into a position where he's actually
But he done that wrestling thing.
like he's put himself into a position where he's
Marketable.
marketable.
Because you went and done that wrestling thing. Because you went out and he gave like a promo, like old school wrestling, and people are like, oh, I love Moicano now. Of course you do, because it's something like that you would have watched growing up. Like, that's what they want.
But
You
he
know what I
goes
mean?
on podcasts as well. He speaks good English. He's got a funny gimmick. Like, that's essential.
Sells
eh?
now. That's what it is now. It's not. It's more about that than skills, because no matter what, this week, people will still want to see Moicano over seeing Dariush.
For sure.
Did
And
you
always does the easy money.
Did you see what he was calling like Dariush in the lead up to it? No. He was calling him senile Dariush. Like, obviously being like he's old. Dariush is only 2 weeks older than Moicano.
He
said
said that as well,
He looks
yeah.
much older, to be fair.
Money Moicano.
He's good.
All right, Greg,
Easy
what's
money.
happening?
How's it going?
All right, mate.
That was a big sigh.
Oh, I forgot about Terence McKinney.
How did he go on?
First round, first minute, gets up the submission.
A submission?
Aye.
What
How
was
did he
it?
sub him?
It was a DAS.
Oh, lovely.
So that's now 20 of his 24 pro fights have all finished in the first round, whether that's him winning or losing. So he's kind of must watch.
I like this killer be killed fighter.
Aye, pretty much.
Just needs a round's worth of cardio, and that's him.
But aye, then that's the rankings update. Topuria, new pound for pound number 1. Pantoja moves up 4 spots to number 5 in the pound for pound. And Joshua Van moves up 11 spots in flyweight from number 12 to number 1 contender.
It's, as Dylan was saying, it's that division, man. You can literally jump 12 spaces in a division.
Why is Dana unhappy?
I seen DDP kind of out in the next kind of fights.
I don't know how true this is, or if it was true, maybe plans have changed. But he was like
Paddy
talking to his
and
pal
Gaethje.
on YouTube, and he said the co-main for his card in Chicago is Paddy and Gaethje. Paddy's tweeted being like, "You're mental if you think I'm fighting in August." Obviously, try to debunk it, but
Aye.
I've just got a feeling it's not going to happen now after last weekend.
Paddy Gaethje made sense before that, but I think it's going to be like
I would rather see Topuria fight Paddy. I think that's a more exciting fight.
Let's
we get
just
that.
do it, eh?
We maybe hit that New York card. That's a cool fight for the New York card.
no one's
And
bothered
then,
about Armin.
then fucking Topuria can go and fight Armin and Gaethje and work his way through them.
Aye.
Guys, we are lucky enough to sit down with Anaconda at the start of the week, and they've asked us to do an unboxing of the Anaconda Knee Recovery Pro.
Smooth.
Ross.
Nailed it.
So what are the benefits of the Knee Recovery Pro? Well, it's got 3 main key factors here. One, it's got a vibration to increase blood flow and stimulate the joint so that there's going to be more blood flow getting to it. It's also got a heat pad in it, so It's going to heat up the full knee joint. The same again, we're looking to increase this blood flow. Nice oxygenated blood, which is going to increase the nutrition, the nutrients to the knee. And the other feature it's got is a compression. So what it's going to do is it's going to grab the knee and keep it nice and secure. So if you have been suffering from any knee injuries, and this can be prolonged usage, say for instance you're having a hard day in the gym and you are just needing a wee bit of TLC for your knees, this is going to be absolutely perfect for it. The other thing it's going to be good for is, say for instance you're an older gentleman and you wake up on that Monday morning and it's a freezing cold November morning and it's going to heat up your knee joints so they're not as stiff. So I think it's going to be a really good piece of equipment for everyday use for athletes as well as normal population.
Ideal for driving home for the gym. Wee bit of vibration there. Heat here, turn it up with just this wee dial on the side, and when you get it to what you want it at, you can just lock it.
60 degrees, is that correct?
60 degrees. And then add in the compression, you can get it to pinch. Means it's locked in out. So as tight as you can pull it, just hit the button, it pulls it even tighter. So again, going to the gym, after the gym, sitting in the car, sitting in the house, we break between sessions. Pull the microphone in.
Give me the deets, Ross. We want the deets of where we can get one of these.
You get these at anaconda.fightwear.co. Currently sold out because everybody wants them. So keep your eyes peeled on the Anaconda website. That's anaconda.fightwear.co. We'll be posting on the podcast as well for when this is back in.
You can also, if you are struggling with knee pain and you're needing some instant relief, then we've got the knee brace, the flagship for the Anaconda brand. It's a knee support with the straps. There was a knee issue the day in our gym, and the Anaconda Pro, I believe, made it so it wasn't as worse as it should have been. This would be during your workout. This is a pre and post activation in the knee joint. So if you're looking to get some Anaconda products, then go to anacondafightwear.co.
And it's still any two braces for $59.
What happens if you're a patron?
If you're a Patreon, you get free next day delivery in the UK. We've got next day delivery in the UK from Anaconda. But again, Leather Podcast at the checkout, that gets you 10% off. Join our Patreon, you get free next day delivery.
So you can get this product, the knee
Recovery Pro.
Recovery Pro, for $89. You put in get the free delivery and then get another 10%
off.
10% off it. Makes sense. Don't suffer in silence. Anaconda has got your back. Don't say we didn't tell you.
Scottish PKB.
Aye, any interest in that? We've had a couple of open mat guests.
Yes, we have. We've had Brian Hislop, who's been on, and we've also had Big J, Jamaican J, who's fighting on it. Who are the guys that are fighting? Are they ranked guys? Are they jobbies? What are we getting here?
The only thing that I know is that the guy that Jay's fighting is a Russian because Jay's been taking the piss out of him non-stop on social media.
Have you seen Jay's outfit?
That he's wearing?
Yes.
No.
Going on Ace, Jay.
I need to know.
Jamaican Jay's Instagram, if you can.
Is he Jamaican?
No,
I feel like he's a white boy.
I made a mistake calling him Jamaican. I thought he was in Jamaica. I thought he spent a bit of time in Jamaica. Long story is, his family were there and somebody went to jail. I don't know. I'm going to butcher this.
Jamaica is a rough spot to go to jail.
So click on name. So this is what he's went for.
He's not going to let me hang me on. Yeah, aye.
So the long and short is, it looks like
I've seen this man in a nightclub.
Prison inmate's outfit.
Oh, tremendous.
So he's got like he's got a prison number on it. It's got change on it. Have you got it? Are you able to just file him up as pictures? Mm-hmm. Is that something you could do?
Yeah, it's like the old school, like basically what, what's his name?
Orange jumpsuit.
Liam Murray. Look what Liam Murray walked out in.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Did he not do the Hannibal Lecter mask as well?
He did the mask and the suit.
But he had the whole yellow thing, like, you know what I mean?
So he's got that. He's got one of the wee jackets. He's got a prison number on it.
What a gangster.
Oh, excellent.
But on the back of it,
it's cool, isn't it?
On the back, he's also got chains on it. Like, see the back of his shorts. And I was thinking, how is that allowed?
That's cool. It must be made out of material that doesn't affect him. That's cool as fuck.
Aye, so that's Jamaican Jay's outfit.
I've seen him wear some.
He follows me,
stuff.
I think.
So he was in the. He's been on the podcast. He came.
That's what it is.
He came full rig out with a cowboy hat, and
of course he did. Looks like the pair of a cowboy.
He was working at Liquid. He was at Liquid Rooms one night, and I was not. I can't even remember. I think we were away somewhere. We were maybe in Vegas actually, and one of the guys phoned me. Sorry, mate.
No, you, Salp.
Me.
Sorry.
You fucking sliding down there.
I know. I always do it. One of the guys phoned me, and they were like, "Ross, there's this guy. He's at the green room door. He's not letting anyone in. Says he's a mate of yours, and nobody's getting in. That's the end of the matter." And I was like, "Who?" Like, big guy, got a fucking pheasant feather in his hat. I was like, "It's Jay. It's cool. He's winding you up. He's sound." They were all like, "This guy's going to punch fuck at us." Inside work. It was hilarious. But I like Big J.
He's a great guy. So that podcast is in our archives or open mat if you're looking to hear about a story, hear about drug deals gone wrong.
Getting stabbed.
Aye. So if you're interested in that, then Jamaican Jay's on there and find out the actual.
He was trying to sell drugs in Jamaica.
No,
Barnsley or son.
You need to go and listen to the podcast.
And then
Something went wrong in Barnsley.
They just took them off him.
Was it no?
Wait. He got nicked. What a slouch.
Rookie error.
What a rookie. How did what? I have to watch it.
You need to watch the podcast
yeah.
because I'll not do it justice.
That's gas.
A lot of face tattoos in the poster. That tells you these guys are tough.
Little easy touch.
So the Russian guy, he's obviously going to be half decent. He's for Russia. He's done a wee bit of this fighting in the streets.
Got a belly on him, like.
Oh, you never know.
Who's this guy Ferguson on the right? Is his name John Ferguson? I think I know him.
I'll have a wee look for you now.
Someone asked me, was I going to this section? I was like, they give me free tickets.
I think that is John Ferguson.
Was he meant to referee this? Commentate this?
Commentate.
Oh, that'd be gas.
Just us shooting the shit. We'd bring you on as well.
Bring me on if you're going to commentate. We'll butcher all.
Because we'd be PC. You'd be like, this guy's a fucking punk. This guy's a bitch.
I'll jump in there now and fight him.
Nah, I wouldn't, because I'd just be fainting on him the whole time. Me and Bareknuckle wouldn't go together. I have little bitch hands.
I think
We've also got Sean Weir, who has had a bit of time off from fighting. He was a prospect in Scottish amateur MMA. Has a boxing background. He's been up working with James.
I know him, yeah. He's a big boy. Looks scary.
That's a tall guy.
He's been putting in the shift with the boys. So I'm looking forward to see him back out. He actually had a lot of potential as a mixed martial artist, and then just ended up, real life gets in the way. You end up having a family, you end up having a business. You end up having a business, and he's got like a thriving business. So it's like, what are you going to do? Fight for a couple of coins?
Fighters and shit pull-out games go hand in hand. Honest to God. Then they're the one crowd of cunts in MMA that can't afford to have a baby. They need to get better pull-out games. You're like, bro, like, why are you not pulling out? Like, you know what I mean?
But for some reason, it's just like, fuck, I've left it.
Look, I need it.
The pull-out has never failed a man. The pull-out has never, it's the best contraception. It's the nearly pull-out that's the issue.
No, it's even better. Not having sex.
That's
even safer.
Did I pull out? And then obviously Brian Hislop, whose last fight was on PFL, am I right, in Glasgow?
No, he fought in Australia.
Oh, that's right, he went in Australia and on Neil Laird's uncle's fucking promotion. Didn't go his way, obviously. Was only out there for a couple of days.
What's your man's name up there? Because them kids are wrecking his head. Kids are just coming out and squealing.
Grant.
Speaking of PFL, actually, I've got released by PFL. I asked for my release there a couple of weeks ago.
Wanted to know if you wanted to talk about it or not.
Yeah, I just got caught up in my palancine thing there because I'd seen a thing on my phone.
Aye. So I'm obviously in the gym and I see you training hard. And I think I don't think PFL's a great place for you. For somebody that wants to fight.
They just haven't pushed me well enough.
Four fights, four shows a year.
Aye, that's the thing. The
and then if they don't put you on it, then you don't get out.
That's it. That is it. And if you're not in the tournament, you're not getting out. Unless you're like kind of have that. No, don't get me wrong. I had, and I can say nothing bad about Dan Hardy and James Steers. They really do, like, steer, no pun intended, the whole like ship. Like, they're the main things that hold that all together over there. And I had a great relationship with them. Dan got me a good contract as well. But there's no point in being on a good contract when I can't get a fight. I think I got offered one fight in the space of a year. I got offered, it was John Mitchell. I felt like that was beneath me, like, you know what I mean? I was like, I am the best guy in Ireland, so I shouldn't have to fight Irish guys, like, you know what I mean? Took it anyway, got injured. But that's the one offer I've had in a whole year. And I was kind of sitting there going, I had one offer for September. I knew if I fought in September, I wouldn't fight again until June. So that's 2 years out. And I'm kind of just sitting there.
It's a long time.
I'd rather retire. I'd rather just pack it in. Honestly,
the not fight.
Yeah, like if I was gonna like, cause like this is my thing.
Once
like,
a year, going out.
Yeah, I'd rather just start me next life. You know, I don't think people get that. Like I'm only doing this now.
That's a good way to put that.
I'd rather start
my next life.
I'd rather start me next. I'd rather leave, like, cause I know Nuke's dying. You know what I mean? I know he's dying, and I love him. You know what I mean? He's been my best friend for years, and he's been that guy that I can always depend on. Yeah, he was the one who protected me in the flat. You know what I mean? This alter ego that I created to just. And he's so much so, he wasn't really an alter, he was like a split personality at some stage, like, you know what I mean? Well, I'm happy for him to die now. I've had a good life for him. I've had a great career. I'm not saying I'm retiring, but I'm just saying, if I don't, like, even now with the offers now and the contracts and stuff with other promotions, I think one promotion offered me 1,500 quid for a fight. I just looked at it and I was like, 1,500 quid for 8 weeks work. Like, I would get that by just working in 𝗟𝗘𝗔𝗦𝗧. For 4 weeks, I'd get 1,800 to 2 grand, 2. So I'm making more than that. So in doing 8 weeks in 𝗟𝗘𝗔𝗦𝗧, I'd make more than what I do being a professional athlete at the highest level. You know what I mean? And then it's kind of like, at the higher, and I'm like, look, mate, if a show can afford to pay their cheapest ticket at 80 quid and they're selling out a 1,500 seat arena, and it's like, whatever that is, they're making 150 grand off tickets alone. I can't accept anything lower than me 10 and 10 or me 15 and 15. As well as that, it's going to get taxed. So how do I live? Sure. If I'm only fighting 3 times a year and I'm only getting, like even then, if I'm only getting 10 and 10 and I do 3 fights, it's 60 grand taxed. It's probably walking out 50 grand, maybe 48 or something. Not a bad year's wage for a professional athlete that's training all year round. Fuck, you should be on more. You know what I'm saying? But it's not bad. But to get 4.5 grand for 3 fights, that's fucking insane. Like, and then sponsors on top of it, but sponsors money comes in drips and drabs. They give it to you when they say it to you. You use that for your camp. You use that for this. You give it to you.
And you have to have something signed, really. If you've not got anything signed, how can you approach a sponsor?
Yeah, fuck, like, you know what I mean? So I'm in talks now with FNC, which is a Croatian show. They have like gladiator events, not gladiator events, but big, huge dome events. And I'm like, I love that. I love the lights, like, you know what I mean? I am actually one of these kids that admits that I got into this because of wrestling, like, you know what I mean? And then I think Octagon are having a chat with me this week. So I'll have a chat with them and see what the story is. But I'd like to just know where we're going, so I could just kind of go, all right, cool, I'm in or out, like, you know what I mean? Because I would happily just kind of go, fuck it, you know what I mean? Like, it's because if it's not worth it, it's not worth it. I'm not doing this for nothing anymore, like, and I'm not doing this just kind of waste time. And I'm definitely not doing this to have clue, because that's what it is, like, oh, I'm an MMA fighter, I have a couple of followers and a tick on Instagram, like, you know what I mean? It's like, what a sad life.
So you don't feel like your identity is wrapped up in being an MMA fighter?
Not anymore. Thanks to James Doolan.
Did you used to be?
Oh yeah, fucking right, bro. Oh, that was all it meant. That was all it meant, was that I was somewhat known, I was somewhat this. People would want to get a picture with me, people want to talk. And now I'm kind of like, I couldn't imagine anything worse. So it's kind of like, once that kind of wears off, don't get me wrong, I still love the lights, I love the attention, I do love it, like, on the night. But other than that, I'm kind of like, it's alright. And it's frivolous as well. Because the minute you lose, they don't care about you anyway. So it's kind of, once you realise that, you're kind of like, all right, what am I doing this for now? And it's kind of like, I'm not doing it for any more damage, you know? So it has to be worth it. But if it's not worth it, then it's kind of like, you're almost an idiot for kind of trying to stay and bash the hammer into the wall, like, you know what I mean?
But why do you feel that this is the, like, I don't know. That's how you're talking. Like, it's almost as if you don't have any more. Like, are you saying you've reached the limit of your potential?
No,
because I don't think that's true at all.
It's not that, but what is my potential? A world championship. I'm not.
But what do you think?
No,
because that's
world champion, of course. Like, but like, I'm gonna have to go through to get to the UFC level, like there, like, you know what I mean? As in, like, where am I gonna go through that to get to there? I'm not kind of willing to be broke anymore to kind of, I'm definitely not willing to kind of do 3 fights on the trot, 4 or 5 fights and be broke, and then you get into the UFC, you go through a contender series, there's another 5 or 6 fights, and then by the end of it you're probably still broke. It's not all rainbows and sunshine, like, you know what I mean? But you're what, 20 fights in deep now in the UFC?
It's you know what, it's great to hear you seen this, and there should be more young guys listening to this.
I like the honesty, because a lot of people don't do this.
Like, oh, we make millions of pounds. No, we don't.
You don't. And this is the thing that people want to say. You, no matter who you are going into the UFC on 10 and 10. No matter who you are. If you go into the fight the contender series, I'm almost sure that's 5-5. I'm almost sure.
Craig knows that.
Right? It's 5-5. I'm always right. I'm not trying to be bad. But when it comes to fighting and it comes to this life, I'm always right. There's only one thing I know, and I'm 16 years deep in it, and I'm right. And I'm almost sure that contract can't go up until about 4 or 5 fights in.
You're right.
I'm right again. I'm always right. And it's not that I'm saying...
That's a grim contract, eh?
It's
tough.
It's like the
so
old...
So it's 5-5, but the once you sign, once you've made it out of the PFL...
and once you make it out of the contender...
The DNA is 10-10, and then it's 10-10, 12-12, 15-15.
It only goes after 4 or 5 fights on that contender series.
Yes, so you... No.
No, is it 10-10 straight away when you get some?
Once you sign to the UFC, it's 10-10. And then it goes 12-12, 15-15, 17-17.
I know it's
only
not.
if you win. So you can be stuck on. You can sign a 4-fight contract and just get 10-10, or just get 10.
Okay, so when you go into the contender, it's 5-5, and then when they sign you, go into regular UFC contract. Understandable.
But there is some people who've been given
twos.
Some people have been given more than one contender fight as well.
Yeah, Chris
all for win.
Chris Duncan got 2, didn't he?
Yep. So when a prime example of this is you think about a guy like 𝗟𝗘𝗔𝗧𝗛𝗘𝗥'𝗚, who was signed to the UFC, had fought Stipe Miocic, went to KSW, and has had how many title fights? 10? Somewhere?
10 or 11, so now loads.
Why is he not going to the UFC? Because they're no paying him.
Take a pay cut.
Because he's going to take a pay cut. So why the fuck would Phil go to the UFC?
Michael Van Page said this as well. They wanted to sign him ages ago, and he was like, I'll end up losing it.
Guy was a superstar. Guy was a superstar before he came to the UFC.
Who was the other champion at Bellator wouldn't he go across? AJ McKee?
I think even Paddy didn't go across. Paddy toned them down.
He was getting more money at Cage Warriors.
Because he was getting 50% tickets or whatever. So this is what I'm saying. I'm kind of just sitting there going, it's not, am I not willing to put that much, but I'm kind of looking at it going, that's 3-4 years. I'm 28. I'll be 32 by then. If I'm not going to go on steroids like all the rest of them, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, I'm sitting there going, oh. Whereas I'd like, say if I got into FNC or something like that, or which is looking likely, at the moment that we're in talks, they'll match me money on PFL. They'll bump me the 3 fight as well. So if I stay there,
it's about if you're getting the fights in it.
Yeah, and they'll match me. They said they give a fight every event, a fight every month, and they have an event every month. And they were like, and if you want, you can do. I'm almost sure I'll be allowed to do like Cage Legacy. Want me to do like this lightweight tournament or whatever? Winner gets 10K.
That's all right.
I'm just little things that I've been getting messages over the last while. I don't really fucking give a fuck about. I know I'm happy with what I'm doing now. Like, you know what I mean?
You've been doing it a long time as well.
16 years. 16 years. The professional since I'm 19. You know, already retired for 4 years of circumstances out of my control. But like what I was saying to someone earlier today, I was like, I met James. I'm cool. Everything's fine. I know that sounds so kind of like pretty gay, you know what I mean? But like, I did, like, I met him. I have higher level. I have my family there. I have the guys there. Guys that I genuinely know have my best interests at heart. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're so close in the team that it's kind of like, if I'm disappeared for, I was in yesterday, but I'd been off 6 for 2 weeks. The minute Mark Ewan hears me voice, Dale! And it's like, big hug, and we're all like, what's up, baby? And it's just, that's the way we all are, the same way if you go missing. And for me, finding that and having that, I'm cool. I've had a great career, you know what I mean? I'm not fucking retiring. I'm just kind of trying to talk a little bit more. If it didn't go right, I'd be happy to walk away kind of thing, because I'm kind of like, I don't want to do it for nothing, like, you know what I mean?
Dylan, as I said just 2 minutes ago, I think it's a great thing that you're like, what am I fighting for? Am I fighting for the sake, am I taking damage for the sake of nothing? And it's like, the financial thing is like, the gain of finances for the damage has to outweigh it, am I right? Like, if you're just taking damage for the sake of taking damage for a couple of coins and for a blue tick, then what's the point?
It's embarrassing. It's more embarrassing. You know, one of the best guys with this, and he actually was when I first moved over, was Kieran Reid. So Kieran Reid I don't think Kieran would mind me saying any of this. Kieran was going to go pro, and Kieran didn't want to fight on smaller shows. He wanted to go onto the big shows because he was fucking the best bantamweight. He's a savage, like, you know what I mean? And I think he actually had a matchup, and his opponent pulled out in Cage Warriors. And he was just like, I think he was doing the math of it all, and he was like, I'm this age, and he was like, fuck this, I'm just going to coach full time. I need to get a mortgage up this and the other. And I'm not talking about his financial issues or his financial, like, he's doing really well now, like, but that's what I'm saying. He was like, there's no point in getting into this. I'm just going to go and start the next life and see how this goes. And now I'm sure if you said it to him, he'd be looking at you going, I made the right choice, and that was 4 years ago when I first met him, like, you know what I mean? So being able to kind of look at things without blinkers on, because you always have people there trying to be like, but you could go fight tomorrow and you could do this and you could do that, and it's kind of like, yeah, but what
you
if that
could, but
doesn't-
the cards don't fall right for everyone.
Yeah,
You
stop
need
with the
to.
codes. Let's just be like, you know what I mean?
You've got 16 years been in this sport. How many people have you seen with the potential to be a world champion that has never made it out to being a 2-0 pro?
I think I said this the last time I was on the podcast. I know more people that are broke and have given their life to this sport. And I mean broke as in from the sport, and have had to restart their life now. You know what I mean? And I always use Ash as a great example. Ash was the hardest worker I ever met. She was always in, always took the fights, took the hardest fights. And she is now only going to probably get a fucking mortgage off the sport because she was in that lawsuit with the UFC. You know what I mean? How sad is that? And she won't mind me saying that. She's a fucking teacher now. She's in a different life. The same with Paddy and all. Like, you know, Paddy and all made a little bit of money, but now that money they make comes off of the gyms. And the only people that probably see money off
Paddy Houlihan, you mean?
Yeah, Paddy
by that,
Houlihan.
yeah.
Sorry, I just talk about them like that. Me, you know what I mean? Because I'm around. Same as Artem Lobov will say the same. Like, how many fights did they all have in the UFC? They're not set. They have like just regular flats and stuff. You know what I mean? Peter Queeley's the same. Peter Queeley's one of the few guys, like no matter what, he's one of the success stories of Irish MMA, because he didn't end up making it into the UFC. Went on his own little road, going through all the hard fights in Russia and all. And now he looks at, and he made good money without all of that, but still not money that you can just sit off. He needs a gym, and now he's got his gym.
He's a
running
job.
and stuff. So that's his job, like, you know what I mean? But I'd want to see all these high level athletes kind of finish up and be like, I don't have to work for
McGregor life.
Yeah, I don't have to work for a year. Like, you know, you think Conor would have just thrown everyone a couple of mil, but hell, stingy jocks.
It's a rough gig, yeah.
Right, we're going to jump over now. What are we going to talk about in this next podcast? Are we going to talk about anything exciting?
There's just a few non-MMA stories, and there's a couple of questions been sent in.
Right, cool.
So.
And if you want to come and join us on Patreon, we're moving over there.